Okay, today the topic is truth, and the author is Alexander Solzhenitsen, is somebody that I absolutely admire. I'm looking at today and I say, it seems rather than news and facts, everything is bottled up into opinions on the air. Conflicting opinions shape our knowledge of the day's news, and they kind of hurt us, left or right. So how do we know which side is true? And then how do we know which side is false, and if it's just a mistake or a lie? So Alexander Solzhenitsen is somebody that I hold in great esteem, and I'm also in awe of him. He wrote Gulag Archipelagos. It's really a chronicle of the things that he witnessed as a prisoner, political prisoner in the Gulags, as an exile in the Soviet Union. Executions, torture, and political exile was the norm. The government basically incarcerated anyone that they felt could be a threat to their power. There's nothing, maybe a kangaroo court, maybe sometimes no court. People just disappeared. But fortunately, he lived to tell about it, and he wrote his famous book. In contrast, I read a letter to the editor a few weeks ago, and the writer, commenting on the new mayor of New York, Zoran Mamdani, was saying that we should be glad we finally have a communist as a mayor, because communism is the most successful form of government of the 20th century. And he used as an example the Soviet Union. And what he said was that you had a backwards agrarian Russian economy and culture. I don't know if the Russians would really appreciate that analogy, but he said that communism transformed it in less than 50 years into a superpower, only to be eclipsed by the economic might of another communist country, China. Well, there's an interesting, both of these people can't be right, and I think it's what you focus on, because it's really about human beings. It's really about freedom. It's about things, these are really the things that we stand for in America. It's not some obscure thing, American values. It is about freedom. So we have one man, Alexander Solzhenitsen, that's telling the truth, and the other one is telling a falsehood. I think it's a lie. I can't imagine somebody that would be that off, especially being raised in America and in our culture, witnessing the Cold War and the things that happened behind the Iron Curtain. But now, to go back to Alexander Solzhenitsen and his quote, he spoke at Harvard in 1978. He said, "Truth eludes us if we do not concentrate with total attention on its pursuit. And even while it eludes us, the illusion still lingers of knowing it and leads to many misunderstandings. Truth eludes us if we do not concentrate with total attention on its pursuit." Well, why would we have to concentrate so hard, except that we do have people that are telling lies, people that are poorly informed, people that maybe have ulterior motives. And so we need to concentrate with total attention. It's that important. It's not easy to actually maintain a free country. And then, as his second point, while it eludes us, so this is if we actually lose sight of the truth, we still live in the illusion that we know it. And that's where you see a lot of people today, right? That's why they fight so hard on one side or the other, when we kind of see that the facts that they're using are wrong, because they are beyond where they can actually look at the other side. And that's what we have. We have an emotional culture, and we are unable to look at each other and have a conversation. So he's right. Because when you begin any investigation with a wrong premise, everything that comes after it becomes wrong. Let's use for an example the protests in Minneapolis. And I'm going to ask you, is there a difference between our First Amendment right of the people to peaceably assemble to redress the government, or is there a difference between that and a violent protest? Peaceably assemble, violent protest. So I'll let you dwell on that while I ask you, so how do we distinguish truth from a lie? Solzhenitsen's observation is to concentrate with total attention on its pursuit. There's no like taking an allegiance and just trusting what one person says. You must pay total attention. You must educate yourself. And now when we think about Jesus at the Last Supper, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. In the Last Supper, he's addressing the apostles who say, show us the Father, and that'll be enough for us. He says that he's the way, right? So more than just looking at the teaching of Christ, we're looking at him and his totality, right? That Jesus as God created everything. So the order of the earth, since God is order, the universe and our human life was defined when our triune God created it. And that order is absolute truth. Absolute truth, meaning it's unchangeable. We change it. We change the definition of truth to our liking. But any place that man deviates from that order is a lie. And Satan builds one lie upon another lie and kind of confuses and muddies the whole thing. And man will accept it out of his own weakness or his cowardice, inability to work to, as Solzhenitsen says, to concentrate with total attention. As stated in the Old Testament, though, God says, I will leave you to the stubbornness of your heart, to follow your own designs. So it's not like he's going to hover over us and just inject the truth when we fall astray. He's given us the truth, and we have to look to Jesus. He's not going to just push us there and make us do it. And that is a lack of freedom. It would not accomplish anything. So the answer becomes simple, maybe not that easy, that the answer is seeing truth. I must stop seeking my own design and put all my attention on the designs of the maker of heaven and earth. Then when you look at the order of the earth, you look at human beings, you look at marriage, you look at children, you look at society, and you look at our future, and it all boils down to the very beginning, the way, the truth, and the life. So that's today's talk, Alexander Solzhenitsen and truth. Thank you.